Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our Little Italy of Los Angeles podcast. We have a lovely guest joining us from New York City, Ornella Fado. I got that right? Ornella Fado, right?
Ciao, yes,
Ciao.
did
Well, I'm trying to do it with a little bit of an accent because your accent is so lovely. So I'm thinking, how can I do that? So there you go. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
And
very much for having me.
gosh, we've got an awful lot to talk about with you, right? You are the host from New York City Live, right? That's the channel. Tell me the name of your show.
My show is called Brindiamo, which means let's toast.
I love that. Let's a toast. And here, we can toast now and we can toast a little bit later. I mean, yours is a little more elegant. Here we go. So I'm thrilled to have you joining us. There's so much to talk about. Tell me, first of all, a little bit about your show. You're quite the entrepreneur as well. You're not just the host of that wonderful show, but you're also the founder of OK Productions, correct?
Correct. You're very well prepared, Deborah. Well, Brindiamo is a television show that I created almost 16 years ago because I want to talk about the Italians that moved from Italy recently, just like myself. I felt that, you know very well, you're an Italian American. There is a lot shows, a lot of things for Italian American. You guys have a great, you know, like the NIAF association, like the Noia, but there is no much about us Italian with a real thick Italian accent.
Well, you know, I love this because you know what's interesting? When did you come here to America?
I was already too old to get rid of. I was 26 years old. I moved here practically 28 to 29 years ago. I just turned 55. I'm very happy of my new celebrated birthday. So
absolutely.
So I moved here when I was 26, and I'm an ex-dancer. I'm an ex-performer. All my life I've been in show business. So I started like ballerina classica, and then I moved in television as a variety dancer. And then I did musical theater and commedia musicali. Actually, the reason why I moved to America is because I met during the musical A Chorus Line. I met the person that will become eventually my future husband and the father of my daughter. I have a 27 years old daughter, Carolina.
Wow. Wait, let's back it up a little bit. So you were born in
Naples.
Born in Naples. You spent 26 years of your life in Italy. And where did you work as a dancer in Rome? Okay.
I worked as a dancer in Rai. It was, Rai is the national television in Italy. So in Italy at that time, there was a lot of variety shows. So a lot of work for dancers. I'm very proud to say that I worked with the very best. With the best choreographers such as Franco Miseria, best director in both theater and television. And then eventually, at 26, I got married. We moved here in America. And at 27, I had my precious daughter. And eventually, I started to notice that there was something missing. There was no show that will talk about Italians abroad. So I created Brindiamo, which is a show dedicated to all the Italians they moved here in the past 15, 20 years, whatever. Just all people that have a thick accent. And the idea actually is a show that celebrates Italian culture in general, but I film it directly in restaurants. So now it's very common to see shows that they're filmed in a kitchen, in restaurants, but 16 years ago, there were no social media. There was absolutely no show. We had Lydia Bastianic with her program From Home, but nobody ever went in a real kitchen to talk about the real recipe that a chef will prepare while the clients were outside waiting. So it was really the real things because it was filmed in the kitchen, while the restaurant was open and while the chefs were working during the hours of, opening in the restaurant.
Now, you also said that you try to select restaurants that are truly authentic Italian, like what somebody would get if they got off a plane and went to a little village somewhere, right? You don't necessarily shoot where someone would eat an Italian American meal, but more something a little more authentic, right?
Yeah. Well, the reason is not because I want it. The Italian American cuisine is very popular. We all know,
yeah, of course,
the famous meatballs, the parmigiana, the chicken, the Alfredo fettuccine. Instead, what I wanted to do, it was really bringing what's authentic. What are the authentic ingredients? How do you really make the perfect, tagliatelle alla bolognese? So for me, it was a little combination. So the show is 27 minutes, but in these 27 minutes, I film 4 recipes in the kitchen of the restaurant, an interview to the chef, to the owner of the restaurant. So they tell me where they come from, what brought them in America. Was their dream? Was it like me, they got married an American and they moved here? And then it became a visual guide, because at that time, we only had the Zagat. And as you know, the Zagat didn't even have pictures. So here we are, this authentic Italian woman go inside of a restaurant that can be this small kitchen. We filmed where literally we had our cameraman attached, somewhere in the sky. And so we were a small restaurant, big restaurant, any kind of restaurant. I started from New York, and then I started to film around, Washington, Philadelphia, and then I did a new edition on the ship, on the Brindiamo Sea. So every time we get off from the ship, we will discovering something Italian.
Oh, that's fun. Hang on. What ship did you, you're saying a cruise line, essentially.
NYC Cruise. And the show
how wonderful.
Brindiamo on the Sea. And the idea that in every port you find an Italian restaurant, you find an Italian story. Brindiamo is also the only shows that give a welcome to Italian personalities. So I had the pleasure to have Massimo Ranieri, which he just turned 70 years old yesterday. So happy birthday to Massimo. Or Barbara D'Urso, which is a big star, Edoardo Bennato, Raf, Ron, a lot of TV personality. When they come to America, they don't have a show to introduce themselves or to introduce their tour or their book or whatever it is. So I felt the need to introduce and share the Italian celebrities with the Americans.
Oh, that's absolutely fascinating. So do you do your show every week in New York?
Well, as you know, in the past years, unfortunately, I couldn't film, but the show is a weekly program. We're airing every Sunday at 1:30, lunchtime, perfect, talking about food. Then there is a rerun. The shows are also available on Amazon Prime in certain areas in the United States. But the most exciting things that happened during my pandemic, when I was stuck here and I thought, okay, finally I have to do my book because I have 100 recipes because I've been filming for 16 years. Instead, this amazing opportunity knocked at my door, and Samsung TV Plus, which is a linear channel, launched their own channels in Italy. So I was invited to have my own channel, which is called Brindiamo channel, of course, where you can watch all the Brindiamo show. They're all in subtitle in Italian, of course, because the show is in English. And I also start to create a new show like My Talented Friends, where I present a friend that created a documentary or a concert and so on. So I do a little bio about them, how we met, and then I showcase their work. So
I have a question for you. Sure. Do you have sponsors as well for your show? And how do you go about getting your sponsors? Because that's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work. Like you said, that's why I am a little entrepreneur, because Actually, I take care of all the aspects. Well, for PBS, as you know, we can have underwriting. So, this short, Brindiamo is brought to you in part by, and then we highlight the sponsors. In Italy, we have, because it's a linear channel, we have actually major campaign. So may have Audi cars or, any other sponsors that is actually doing a promotion through, national television in Italy. So, but yes, as you know, that is the challenging of, I can do a show like that, but, before I go there, we have to find the sponsors to allow us to put our stories on air.
Absolutely. So let's go back a little bit to Italy, right? And coming here at the age of 26. What was that like for you? Because did you speak English well? Did you have to learn English? Because you also told me that when you first came here with you're shaking your head, with an accent, people were like, they weren't as receptive, right? So let's talk about that a little bit.
Let me tell you. So first of all, it is interesting because I never came in America because I had the American dream. My dream was to be a performer, which I did. And I started, like I said, as a ballerina point, ending to be a musical theater and a triple threat on Broadway shows in Italy. I couldn't speak English, absolutely not. When I came here, I learned a few words like, hi, my name is Ornella, I'm getting married in a month, and that's it, So I had to learn the languages. As you can see, I still make a lot of mistakes. And a big help was my daughter, because I practically grew up with her, and I learned through her, the nursery school and the kindergarten. So, and I remember my ex-husband, the father who said, try to learn English before she learns English.
Right, so you can speak to her in English. I understand. But
no, I
great.
speak with her in Italian, actually. He said, you don't want that she has to translate to you when you go to school and the teacher wants to talk to you. So, and I think I was always, as you can see, I love to talk. So there was no way that I would be quiet in my life here in America. So,
no, I have to tell you, you're making this interview very easy. I hardly have to ask you a thing because you've got so many great stories to tell me. It's like you go from one story to the other, and I'm thinking, what a fascinating woman you are. It's just lovely.
Thank you
Absolutely
so much.
lovely.
It's such a pleasure. I don't want to take your place, though, so I can.
No, believe me, not at all. I just think you're so fascinating. And you have such, I don't know, you're just so passionate for everything you do. I absolutely love it.
Yes. So exactly what you said is so true. My daughter, when she was a little girl, she was modeling and acting. And sometimes, do you remember those beeper that we used to have? I had a beeper for my daughter, the little...
Yeah. A beeper, just a beeper, yeah.
Right? And so I had one for her because she was so busy as a young model that, the agent was calling me, she has a go see here, she has an audition there. And I remember sometimes I was calling and say, hi, I'm calling from a Carolina agency. What time we have to be there? And sometimes I got answer like, oh, if she has an accent like you, don't even come here. I was like, okay, that is not going to help her career. And so I said that to, Albin, I said, please, can you call the agent? I don't want to.
Oh, wow.
Very rough, very rough. And honestly, I tell you the truth, I had such a big passion for my show, for my career. I didn't want to give up on my career. I felt that the fact that I have an accent, it wasn't going to be an asset for me, but it would be a problem. And I said, no, I work so hard. I've been working since I was a young girl, really, in the dance and the performing. I said that it's not possible that now, just because I'm in America and I speak a foreign language, I cannot keep dreaming and fulfill my dream. So nobody's giving me a job, but that's fine. I'm going to create my own job. And that's
what I love.
And
say that again. Say that again. And that's what?
And that's what I did. I decided to invest in myself with everything I have, with my own money, with my personality, with my willness to say, I'm going to create a show that is mine. So nobody can say, oh no, we cannot hire you because you have an accent.
So as adorable as you are, so you created this show on New York City Live, right? It's a PBS station. When you first went to them, what did they say? Because clearly you went to them with your adorable accent and you said, hello, I want to do a show. And what did they say to you? Did you say it just like that?
Like that, Deborah. Practically what I did, I sent a DVD because, of course, I couldn't wait until somebody would say yes to my show. So what I did, I created a collection of a DVD called Brindiamo, a toast to the finest Italian restaurants. And I remember to take first the pictures with the flowers and the spumante bottles, So I did that. I created this series. I packaged very well because I love to do nice things. That's why I don't do much, just interview in the street with the phone and things. Those are, I really do production. I like the art of television. I don't just want to be on TV. It has to be beautiful. So what I did, I sent them the first episode and they watch it and they asked me for the second episode and they watch it, they asked me for the third. At the fifth episode, they said, oh my God, they're going to me and ask me for the sixth episode. I don't have it.
So what did you do?
So at the fifth, they invite me in and they say, we want to do a contract with you for 2 years. And I thought, oh my God, now I have a 2 years contract, which are 52 weeks per year, 104 weeks,
wow,
2 years, and I have 5 shows. So what I did, I roll up my, sleeves and I start to film with a budget so small that I will never do it again if I knew what I was going to do it. The incoscienza. But let me tell you the reason why this can be a good, suggestions for people that are starting something. They told me, my program director, which I love her, Millie, she said, Ornella, what we loved about your show, that you had actually a presentation. We receive hundreds of DVD, silver, with a marker on, with the name of the show. And so if you have to choose among hundreds of this silver with a white sleeve, DVD, how do you choose? Here you arrive with a real cover, a professional pictures, with print out your face on the DVD, and already you had 10 steps ahead of everybody else. So I think, and I still believe, and this was an opportunity because now I'm launching the shows for Zoom or Tubi TV, Rakuten, is because I have the whole package, so I even pull archive show, and they are old, they are SD, they were not, in HD or 4K like we do now, 4K.
Right.
But still have a value because they were filmed in the right way and they have the right content. So.
Hang on, did you have a full camera crew with you and lighting and everything else?
I always have 2 cameramen, 1 photographer.
Oh, wow.
I think I have more photography of me in the last 16 years than anybody else because every time we film for 5-6 hours, my photographer click. So, for each show I have like 500 pictures. And that's why I have to do my book because I have so many pictures, at least let me use it. And then I have, the audio. And then, I always try to get a serious crew because, like I said, art of TV.
When did you start OK Productions? When did you do that? Was that way back when?
No, OK Productions started when I wanted to create my show. So, I said, okay, so what do I need practically? Because I tell you a funny story. I went to a real producer, somebody that was already doing this for Rai, big stuff. And I said, I have this great idea. Nobody ever did a show from restaurants. It's all about Italy, blah, blah, blah. And he said, oh yeah, I love your idea. $200,000 for a series.
What?
I shake his hands and I said, I'll never see you again, you know, because
wow.
$100,000. I went home and I said, what is it I really think I need? Okay, a cameraman, maybe 2 cameramen. Oh, okay, this, and I said, I'll do by myself. You know, I've been in television. I was exposed to television. I was the face of this channel in Italy for many years, where I really learned to interview politicians, doctors, celebrities. So I know how to be on camera, but I also learned how to be behind the camera. And this is a new occasion. I can learn even more. And then I have this funny story, because soon I did my first production. In a few months, I got a channel. I went to him because I needed to transfer from mini DV to beta. And he said to me, why did you need this? And I said, oh, you remember my idea? I said, yeah, it's going to be broadcast on this channel. And he said, let me understand, you came here a few months ago with an idea and you already have a channel and all the shows? I said, yeah, quick, we have to do it.
You're not messing around, Ornella. You're not messing around. Let's face it. That's incredible. So the rest of your family, right? Mom and dad and everyone, are they still back in Italy, or do they ever come and join you here?
No, I wish. Well, I lost, unfortunately, my mama when she was even younger than me. She was only 52. So, you know, but she was my biggest supporter. I mean, my mother always made me believe that I could do anything I wanted in life. So I work in, and I was living by sample, because she was a woman that did everything she wanted to do in her life. So I believe it. It was easy for me to say, oh yeah, I want to do this. Why not? Let me do it. And my father unfortunately passed away too, but I have 2 fantastic brothers. And today is the birthday of my oldest brother, Antonio. So ciao, happy birthday.
Ciao, Antonio. Happy birthday. I hope he's watching.
You know, from Italy.
Yes, because you know we're on live, so I'm sure he can watch this from Italy. Oh, that's just...
He said, oh, I'm going to call you. I said, don't call between this hour and this hour, because I'm live. Actually, click here. I'm going to say happy birthday to you. So I have fantastic brothers. They are in Italy because they have their own life. So I'm here with my daughter, which, you know, she is, of course, an independent young woman, and with my adorable boyfriend. And I have, you know, tons of friends. But yeah, my family didn't follow me. So, okay, you go. Have fun.
So it sounds like you came here in the 1990s, right? And even then, people were a little funny with your accent. And, you know, when my family came over, we talked about this earlier, right? We were told, you're not learning any Italian. You're now an American. And I'm glad now that future generations are not doing this, because now I'm only now just embarking on my journey to learning Italian. Let's face it, that's how I know, and I'll do it too, because I'm like you. It's like, if I put my mind to something, I'm going to do it. And I assure you I'm going to do it. But
next thing you're doing Italian.
Exactly. But let's talk a little bit briefly about the difference, right, of when people came earlier in the 1900s, and even mid 1900s, as opposed to you coming, you know, in the 1990s. It was a different experience, right?
Because they had different experience.
Right. You know? I mean, they sort of had to get out because there were no jobs for people. It was a very difficult time.
Absolutely. I mean, really, I don't think, if I wasn't going to meet you know, my ex-husband, I will never come to America, because I was happy in Italy. I love Italy. Italy is a beautiful country, and I was working. I realize now how much I worked in that 10 years period. You know, I really experienced so much, and now I realize I work with Fellini, I work with Zeffirelli. You know, I mean, even if they were small role, I was on the set of their movies. You know, so it reached me so much. But I tell you the truth, I love New York. I love America. And I think America allowed me to be who I am today, because of the opportunity to do what you want without having much support, without knowing the right people. I don't know anybody. I didn't know anybody, literally, you know. And now, you know, I wish my daughter was in my business. Instead, she left the show business, and she is a teacher, and, you know, she doesn't want to have anything to do with me or her dad, that is also a professional musician. So, but I wish just so I could tell her what I learned. Instead, she also has to do everything on her own, so everybody has to learn their own things. But
okay. But isn't that the way? I have 3 sons. You have 1 daughter. I have 3 sons. First of all, none of them are following in our footsteps, which is fine with me.
Yes.
But they've got to learn it on their own. When I try and give a little advice, it's like, Mom. So it's like, you can't even bother, right? But someday she'll come back. No, never.
Exactly.
What would you like to tell? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was answering to your question. So I believe it for your parents' generation has been very hard.
Yeah.
Immigrant. Last time I was, you are a superhero if you're an immigrant, just because it is challenging. Without going too much political, but Black Lives Matter, this Asian. It's true. People tend to have a problem with something different.
Very true.
Different. So even when I moved here, people were assuming you're Italian. Do you live in Little Italy or you live in the Bronx? And I'm thinking, why? I cannot live in Manhattan.
And here's a big one. They always assume that you've got family in the mob, right?
Absolutely.
I know, like growing up, because I grew up in New Jersey and Florida, right? And it was always assumed by friends in school that I had mobsters as my family members. It's like, no, I don't think so. They're no, they're gardeners. They're not mobsters. So
listen,
I'm glad
I think this has been changed. And
yes.
I really want to thank also, you remember in the 70s, all these movies that were filmed in New York City, and they were all people shooting in the street, the police. It was so much, and New York was the most dangerous place, which it was. And then here, arriving Sex and the City. Everybody looks gorgeous, glamorous. They want to live where Sarah Jessica Parker lives, where actually in the meatpacking district, where, the other. So did you see how much power we have in telling the story? That's why I want to always be positive in my show. Because honestly, it's been almost 30 years that I live here. I didn't feel the connection with mafia as much as the previous generation.
Right, exactly.
Fashion, yes. Food,
absolutely.
Yes.
So tell me what you're working on next. How can we find your shows? And what can we expect from you? Because I know we'd love to have you, when you come out to Los Angeles, visit us here at Little Italy in Los Angeles, because we're a fairly new designated district here in LA, because there's lots of us Italians here, and we're so excited about it. So we'd love to invite you to visit us here.
Thank you so very much. Well, like I said before, because I couldn't film, I really much concentrate in distribution. So I learned this new word, and I said, what do I do with my 100 over programs? Oh, let me start, distribute in Italy as well in United States. And of course, I can't wait to go film again, maybe new shows. I was thinking a series from Dubai, more international. Italians are all over the world. So I want to go with my camera and tell their story to the world.
That's very exciting. And anything else you'd like to tell our audience about you, about your entire journey these past 28 years that you've been here in America, doing things your way as an Italian in America? What would you like to tell people?
I think pretty much we said everything I wanted to say, right? I love America. I love New York. I've been living here for so many years. And I'm grateful for the opportunity that I was able to create by myself. I hope people can start to also understand that it's okay to have a TV hostess that has an accent. You can only get some benefits, like learning a new language. There is somebody very nice did an interview to me and said, an accent is a person that talks a language that you don't understand.
It's so true.
I never want to feel that it was an issue. And it could be, because again, maybe in Wisconsin, they do not understand me. In New York, it's easy. We are foreign.
That's very true. And same here in Los Angeles. I mean, there's so many different languages spoken here. We're used to it, right? One more thing before I let you go. Any restaurants that are a must when we come to New York?
When you come to New York, oh my goodness, I have so many great restaurants, and now I'm trying to not offend anybody, but La Masseria is, if you love Puglia, Pugliese food is fantastic. Raffaele is in Westchester. I did a show from him. Napoletan, great. Sicilian. I mean, where are you from? Your family's from?
My family is from Avellino, which is just outside of Naples, and a little town called San Barbado.
Okay.
And Monocosari. They're right next door to each other in the region of Avellino.
Yes, I will bring you to a restaurant that's called Pizzarte, and he's from Avellino. He's a lawyer, and he owns this beautiful restaurant. So it's called the Pizzarte because the pizza, they make a lot of pizza, but all other kind of delicious food. And the surrounding is like an art gallery.
Oh, so, that's exciting. Where is his restaurant? In New York?
The restaurant is in Midtown. Closer to the Love Sculpture.
Oh, you have to tell me off the air where it is. I'd love to connect with him. That's so exciting. I love that.
I have a guide. It's called the Brindiamo Guide, where I feature a lot of Italian restaurants.
Oh, that's wonderful. So they can look up your guide. They can look up your show. And maybe they'll even catch you on a cruise one of these days as well. That would be very exciting.
I can't wait to go back on a cruise. Yes.
Oh,
and if I feel better, you will be my guest.
You know what? I would enjoy that so much. So you could do it from Italian. I'll do it in English. How's that? So
Here we go.
Well, thank you so much, Ornella Fado. Thank you so much for joining us on our Little Italy of LA podcast. You are delightful. You're absolutely charming and delightful, and a terrific entrepreneur. All the work that you've done, starting a production company. Somebody says it's too much money. It's like, I don't think so. And you just start your own thing. That's a girl after my own heart. I love that. So
thank you so much. Can I do something? Can I brindiamo? I toast to you, to your fabulous audience, and everybody that is watching us now. Ciao, grazie.
Ciao, grazie. And thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I am your host, Deborah Zara Kobylt, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye. Christian?
We are clear.
I didn't want to talk. Oh, you were delightful. You're so delightful.
Thank you so much.
Please tell your family to watch this because we were live, and tell everybody in Italy. I really want their opinion. I want them
on my Brindiamo. I did, and then I was doing literally to all my best friends and so on. But you said that you're going to the podcast is going to be on the 18th.
No, you're live now. It's gone. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. I'm going to text you where you can find it. And what is your email? Because we can also send it to you.
Yeah.